I'm with Yolande Alleyne, who's the president of the Barbados Town and Country Planning Society. Yolande, tell us about yourself.
I am a town planner who works in private practice in Barbados. My day-to-day job involves giving consultations with developers for major land developments, as well as doing research and development for things like disaster planning, environmental management, and those types of issues that engage the Caribbean at the moment, including green economy issues and things like that. I'm also the president of the Barbados Town and Country Planning Society, and we are a professional body which tries to bring professional planners together and educate and give awareness to the public, the general public, about planning issues in the country.
And you're here at the Commonwealth Association of Planners meeting representing the Americas, is that right?
That is correct. I am the Vice President-elect for the CAP Americas region.
And what does that include?
That includes giving representation for the CAP Americas region, which consists of Canada and 3 national organizations in the Caribbean, representing them in terms of the urban and other planning issues that they face, and helping them to network with other planners across the world.
So what would you say the key planning issues are for you in your home region?
I am representing Canada as well, and their issues are a little different, but in my home region I would have to say that one of the pressing issues for us is climate change and the associated sea level rise. As some people may not be aware, but collectively the small island development states across the world, they contribute less than 0.1% of the greenhouse gases, but because they're so small in terms of land mass and population, and they have fragile ecosystems, they're the ones who are at the greatest risk of sea level rise and climate change issues. And so that is one of the pressing problems that we have, and as you'll be aware, because that's a slow onset hazard, directing funds towards it by government is not often seen as a priority. So gaining leverage and gaining support for having funds channeled towards that type of research can be a little slow sometimes, and maybe sometimes a little frustrating.
And what are the other planning challenges that you're facing as an area?
The other planning challenges I would have to say would deal with, then there are a whole set of dynamic interrelated issues to deal with: urban sprawl and traffic congestion. And they arise from the fact that we are pretty much a small land mass, and there's a preference for detached homes and homes that are outside of towns, and the choice in where we like to site our government offices, our homes, etc., often leads to more commuting, longer commutes, and traffic congestion, and high energy bills and things like that. And it also eats into the very limited agricultural lands that we have, and so we have issues with food security as a result of that. So urban sprawl and traffic congestion will be one of the major issues that we face.
So what contribution are planners making to addressing those challenges you've identified?
I think the way planners are dealing with it is to continue to do their development plans and their forward planning in the countries. Unfortunately, they don't update them as often as they should because of lack of resources and funding. We are just about beginning now to start a network with each other and try to share ideas of best practice, and also trying to pin down what the urban agenda is for the Caribbean. In fact, the University of the West Indies St. Augustine campus is doing some research on developing a new curriculum for planning, which brings a very specific Caribbean perspective on planning issues, which I think is going to take us a significant way forward in terms of how planners deal with these issues in the region.
And you're here in London meeting planners from across the Commonwealth. What for you has been most interesting about those conversations over the last 2 days?
I found the research streams, the work streams that the Commonwealth Association of Planners have set up to be very interesting. Their work streams like health in the city and legislation and things like that, and resilience, and those issues are pertinent, particularly the resilience and health in the city issues. Those are pertinent for the Caribbean. countries. Barbados, for instance, is known as the amputee capital of the world. It is so small, but it has a high incidence of chronic diseases. And so health in the city is an issue for us. And how do you bring that kind of research into islands like ours? And how do we tap into it and model and do pilot projects that could show that we can actually reverse some of these things, that sometimes the solution is a planning solution that it lies in. And I found those conversations very interesting, and I started to think of how could we actually incorporate some of those solutions into our own hometowns.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
I'm with Yolande Alleyne, who's the president of the Barbados Town and Country Planning Society. Yolande, tell us about yourself.